Have you ever stopped to think about the name Africa? I mean, really think about it. Not just as a word we use every day, but as something that carries the weight of an entire continent's story. When you hear Africa, what comes to mind? Is it a place, a people, a feeling, or maybe even a mystery? Like, where did it come from? Who decided that was going to be our thing? Was it chosen by the people who lived here? Or was it handed down by outsiders who saw the land through their own eyes? The name Africa is everywhere, on maps, in music, in the stories we tell. But have you ever wondered who first spoke it and why? It's a simple question, but it opens a whole can of worms about history, identity, and who gets to tell the story. Names aren't just labels, they're powerful. They shape how we see ourselves and how the world sees us. And when it comes to Africa, the story behind the name is tangled up with colonization, ancient empires, and the struggle to define our own narrative. Turns out, the name Africa has a much deeper, and let's be real, a much shadier past than they teach in school. Most of us grew up learning a version of history that barely scratches the surface. The truth is, the name Africa didn't just appear out of nowhere. It's been shaped by explorers, conquerors, and storytellers, each with their own agenda. And sometimes, the real story gets lost in translation. Buckle up, because we're about to take a trip back in time to uncover the truth about the motherland. We'll dig into ancient texts, legends passed down through generations, and the voices of those who lived here long before the world called it Africa. This isn't just about geography. It's about reclaiming a story that's bigger than any one name. For centuries, the continent we know as Africa had a different name. A name that resonated with its people, its spirit, and its ancient wisdom. This name was spoken in the songs of elders, written in the scrolls of scholars, and whispered in the winds that crossed deserts and forests. It was a name that reflected the soul of the land and the unity of its people. That name, my friends, is Alkebulan. Alkebulan, meaning Mother of Mankind, or Garden of Eden, is a name that predates Africa by centuries. It's a name rooted in pride, heritage, and the deep connection between the land and its people. So as we journey through this story, let's remember, sometimes a name is more than just a word. It's a question, a challenge, and an invitation to rediscover who we really are. Alkebulan, a word that echoes through time, carrying the memory of countless generations. More than just a name, it's a living whisper from the ancestors, a reminder of the continent we now call Africa. There's a certain music to it, a rhythm that feels both ancient and alive. When you say Alkebulan, you can almost feel the sun on your skin and the earth beneath your feet. It's believed to mean Mother of Mankind, or Garden of Eden. Imagine, this land, with its sweeping savannas and mighty rivers, was seen as the birthplace of all people, the cradle of civilization. Here, the first footsteps of our ancestors were pressed into the earth, the first stories told beneath the stars. Before colonialism, before lines on maps, Alkebulan was home, known and loved by its people. It was the original name, written in ancient texts and spoken in marketplaces, a thread connecting past to present. So how did Alkebulan become Africa? That story is as complex as the continent itself. But before we get there, let's remember the legacy of Alkebulan, the land of the first men. Enter the Romans, stage left. Now the Romans, they loved a good conquest. And when they set their sights on a small part of North Africa, guess what they decided to call it? You got it, Africa. Now here's the thing, they weren't talking about the whole continent, just that one little piece they managed to snag. But over time, that name Africa started to spread like wildfire. It's like when you accidentally spill juice on a white shirt, it doesn't stay in one place. It just keeps going. And that's kind of what happened. The Romans may have started it, but they weren't the only ones responsible for the name change. Colonialism wasn't just about land or resources. It was about erasing entire cultures. When European colonizers arrived in Africa, they brought a mindset that said, our way is the only way. Centuries-old civilizations, rich with tradition and history, were dismissed as unimportant. European powers redrew borders, renamed towns, rivers, and mountains, and forced new identities onto the land. These weren't just names. They were tools of domination, meant to overwrite generations of stories. Traditional languages were outlawed, books burned, and people forced to adopt European names. Schools became places where children were taught to forget their heritage. The name Alkebulan faded, replaced by the colonial label Africa. The original name, full of meaning and history, was nearly lost. But you can't keep a good name down. Today, people are reclaiming their heritage and proudly embracing Alkebulan. The spirit of the land and its people endures, stronger than any attempt to erase it. Names are powerful. They hold stories, they connect us to our past, they shape how we see ourselves and how others see us. When you take away a name, you take away a part of someone's identity. That's what happened with Alkebulan. But here's the beautiful thing about history. It's fluid, it's always being rewritten. And today, there's a growing movement to reclaim what was lost, to remember Alkebulan, and to celebrate its true meaning. This isn't just about semantics. It's about reclaiming our narrative. It's about recognizing the strength, the resilience, and the beauty of a continent that has endured so much. All over the world, people are waking up to the truth. They're questioning the history they were taught, and they're demanding change. From academics to artists, activists to everyday people, the movement to reclaim Alkebulan is gaining momentum. We're seeing it in books, in music, in art, and in the streets. It's a beautiful thing to witness, this reawakening, this connection to our roots. It's a reminder that no matter how hard they try to erase us, to silence us, our history is ours to tell. And we're taking back the narrative, one Alkebulan at a time. So, the next time someone asks you about Africa, tell them about Alkebulan. Tell them about the motherland, the cradle of civilization, the place where it all began. Let's remember our past, honor our ancestors, and build a future where our children know their true heritage. The name Africa might be here to stay, but it doesn't have to define us. We are Alkebulan, and our story is just beginning. The world forgot, but Africa remembers. We remember the greatness behind us and rise toward the greatness ahead, together. Catch you in the next tale untold. Subscribe and shed light on the true Africa.